Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Day's Podcast along with a new video. So, we had already did a fan appreciation for Janet, so I thought it would be nice to, like I said, series within series. I'm going to be talking about different variety of things. We are going to talk about The Velvet Rope. So, this particular album came out in such a time where music was flourishing all around. Whether it was pop, R&B, hip hop, rock, country, everyone was eating. Okay, and so from where it's showing that it started recording back in January of '97, you already have artists that are starting to emerge, groups as well. Um, Albums that are going to be released in the next few years from other artists that may have took some time off, did other projects. But Janet had just finished her Janet tour. She did a new song with Michael, even gave us Design of a Decade. And by just late 96, she just felt it was time to really pour out emotions that need to be, you know, poured out and understood. Um, yeah, it's the sixth studio album. And, well, it's six, but really eight, I think, because there's self-titled and um, Dream Street that we don't really talk about, but I talk about them. I will talk about them. So besides those two, there's Control, there's Rhythm Nation, Janet. Oh no, there's six. They kept it together. Okay, yes, six. Um, Prior to its release, yeah, she made a really big contract um, negotiation at that time, and the tour itself, the Velvet Rope tour, if you've witnessed or been able to watch that tour, you already know what it gives, and it's legendary because it's such a fuse of all of her eras prior into this project in a great way. Um, yeah, um, facing a long-term case of depression, um, using introspection as its theme. It's a metaphor. The title is a metaphor for emotional boundaries, um, where you know, pretty much feeling special in a way through it all. Um, yeah, addressing depression, self worth, social networking, and domestic violence, um, sexual orientation, same sex relationships, even, she received a GLAAD award for outstanding music and was considered a gay icon for this, because it touched on all things. It wasn't anything that there wasn't things that she felt she couldn't touch on this album. And the album cover, you think of the fact that in her previous album, Where's Janet, she's looking right at you. This album's like like I can't, like, just feel the music. I'm right here, and then I'm just wearing black right here, you know. um it wasn't it wasn't something that anyone was prepared for, because they already was getting such a, courageous sense of her, where it was just like, you want this, like. But this was very much cohesive, where her emotions are very much drawn out and poured into different segments throughout the album, where you're just like, whoa. you know, where there's pop, R&B, hip hop, folk, jazz, rock, and techno music. Alternative R&B too. Um, yeah, she won a Grammy for "Got Till It's Gone." Um, Together Again became an international #1 hit. "I Get Lonely" is just a staple in R&B. Like you know that song. That's just it. But the singles themselves, it started off late September, and when "Got Till It's Gone" came out, people were like, "Oh my God, Janet's back!" And we just got a Mariah Butterfly, so everyone is just going off with Honey. But "Got Till It's Gone," oh no, wait a minute. No, I like this. This is, you know. And Together Again, the second single didn't come out till, you know, maybe almost a few months after the album dropped. And that was just the best thing to put out because, you know, 98, we're like, yay. And Together Again, and "I Get Lonely" was right after. "Go Deep" was by, you know, late spring, which makes sense, you know. Making you feel nice in the summertime. "You" was more or less late summer. You know, she's touring. So, you know, through these singles coming out and they're doing so well, she's touring. And "Every Time" was the last single before 99. And I can remember HBO doing the Madison Square Garden presentation for the tour with Janet live. And I'll never forget watching it live when it happened at 4 and just being blown away. Just like, oh my God, like, just she is dancing, she's singing, she's taking a break and giving us ballads, and she really tore down this era. And the writing, very well written. Let's go into the track listing. Well, to be honest with you, yeah, like I said, when it came to the process stalled due to various issues facing Jackson, including depression, body dysmorphia, anorexia, and self-hatred. As a result, she would cancel sessions, apparently appearing constantly troubled. That was a tough album to make for her. There were times when she would not show up at the studio for 5 to 6 days in a row. Yeah, like this took a lot. And in my previous video, when it came to Aaliyah, she jumped right in when it 1 in a million because it was just like she at a young age was just like, no, this is what I'm feeling. Let's get this down. Like, I'm gonna get these vocals out. Like, I need to. She was just ready. And Janet herself, you know, at a young age herself is still the same way. Like, you know, she's putting out her music when she is ready. And you know, at that time, you know, even though it's spring and summer of 97, you know, she's feeling like, shoot, this is coming together, but it's doing something to me. It's making me be aware of things that I may have just overlooked. And that happens in artists, like with a lot, whether it's music, movies, that happens where you're just so focused and you're feeling everything is right and it's coming to it being right. But you're still, and she said it herself, there's nothing more depressing than having everything and still feeling sad. That applies to the average person, because the average person can have, you know, a good car, a good job, good family, and they go to bed and they're not happy still. That happens. And as it being Mental Awareness Month, yes, it's okay to not be okay, but you have to let somebody know you're not okay. That's the line there. That's meeting you halfway. It's okay to not be okay, but you need to tell someone. And she wanted to let us know there were times she was not okay. What about, let me just listen. I gotta go through the track list. Okay, so interlude, It's my belief, you know, that we all have the need to feel special. And it's this need that can bring out the best in us, yes, the worst in us. And this need created the velvet rope. I just literally just told you the interlude. That's how much of a fan I am. So, you know, you go right in, Velvet Rope. We have a special need, you know, and that song is a really good song. You's a really good song. It's very much about self-reflection and you can't please nobody but you. She just did so much with this album. No, not even please. You can't blame nobody but you. Sorry. Yeah. And just, I'm sorry. I'm over here just. I said it in a previous video. When I look at this album, or when I was to go and talk about it, it's gonna fuel emotions because it's just you're thinking so much about not even just her history, but just even how it resonates with you. With Got Till It's Gone, it's just as the title says, it's like, you know, would you give me another chance to love you and breathe the right way? Like, I don't know. She's just letting you know, like, this I love this person in such a jazzy, just smooth way. This song, it better be on a road trip. It better be on when you travel, and it just better be on, period. In the interlude, Speakerphone, she's actually, you know, just being herself. My Need, same thing. Just letting the world know, like, you know, I get urges just like the average person, just like any other person. Like, I want things when I want things. Okay? Interlude, fasten your seatbelts. She's pretty much letting us know with friends, like, it's time to party, which goes into Go Deep. And, you know, Free Zone, same thing. Just wherever we are, no one should feel like they can't have a good time. We're all here. We're all enjoying ourselves. He was on the airplane sitting next to this guy, said he wasn't too shy, and it seemed real nice until he found out he was gay. That's so not mellow. That was her letting the world know, like, don't be fucking with these people. Like, these people would be really just cool. Okay? I'm part of those people. And then, you know, the interlude where it's Memory. How did it go? Oh, you don't have to hold on to the pain to hold on to the memory. And I feel like that is a very, very distinctive phrase, very distinctive way of being able to let somebody know, despite anything that's going on, you can remember what it was, you can understand what it meant, but you don't have to feel the hurt from it as long as you know it mattered. Yes. As far as Together Again, like I said, pretty much an ode to that. Just letting people know, like, nah, like, we live great lives, and we have to press on, and we have to know that these people and who we're with matter, and we have to be great at it. Online, you know, that's an interlude that you don't often hear, where it's like, you know, you're trying to connect to the dial-up. You know, at that time it was serious. Like, the internet was really starting to. And, you know, hearing it now, it's really nostalgic, because you say to yourself, you know, you just look at a modem now, you know, it's already put together. It's already, you know, whether it's your phone, if you want to use your hotspot on your phone, it's already just ding. Back in the day, you know, you had to make sure that they was calling the number that was connecting you to that IP address. No, we've come so far. And at that time, you didn't often hear someone say, I feel empty. And she did just that. She felt, you know, there were a lot of people out there whether they're with someone or in a long distance relationship. To me, long distance is considered just like a real relationship, not even just a real relationship, but it's just as real as a relationship where you're with somebody. And I've heard just as many complaints with people close as opposed to where they're not as close with that person, where the communication is a problem. Like, you can be right next to that person, but they may not have your full attention, or you may not be giving them that full attention, and they're right there, whether they're on their phone, or they went to go use the bathroom, or they went to go to the store. That's still a distance away. They're not going to be underneath you all the time, whether they're living 300 miles away or living not even 15. It doesn't matter, because we all got individual things that we got to do. And she's feeling empty from all that, because it's just like, I'm rushing home to turn you on. Sometimes you're there, sometimes you're gone. Wait for hours for your return. So tell me, please, am I wasting my time? It's that simple. Like, there's no need for that. There's no need for the wait. What are we doing? And then, she's speaking from a point of view where she may have not met that person. We've never met. If I can't reach your thoughts, I feel empty. But a lot of times, people don't want to accept that that's what they feel. They'll disguise it by them just, focusing a little bit more on something that they care about, rather than just being like, wow, I really give a fuck. Yeah, you do. And you can act on it. It's okay. And that's where, she kind of looks at that and says to herself, well, even though I'm this vulnerable here, there's still some things I need to understand. And with this interlude, she says, with it being the interlude called Full, how empty of me, let me reel this back, how empty of me to be so full of you. And I thought that was a great way of bringing what about, because you say to yourself, yeah, I love someone, whether they're near or far. And then there's that opposite side. You fucked up. How dare you do me like that? How dare you try me? How dare you make it seem like things were okay when they fucking weren't, on purpose? And then feel as though I need to understand. She said it. She said it. I can't live life wondering. that's very direct. Because no one ever really talks about abuse. No one talks about, even if it being verbal, emotional, no one really talks about that. And at that time, when you talked about it, you had to really be keen about it, because at the end of the day, everybody wants to hear love and, I want to be great and you ain't nothing. No one wants to always hear the fact that someone's, not being treated right. But no, it had to be talked about, because it was going on. There was really men and women out there just just for no reason. And then if it wasn't that, they'd go and be out with somebody else for no reason. It was going on in the 90s. It was bad. You think now is bad. Imagine when you didn't always have the access to know what was going on and it's happening. Never mind just knowing that it could be happening, because there's so much that could be going on with you and that person now compared to back then, where it wasn't always a thing. Okay? So, she put it right then and there for y'all. That's why when it calms down from all the rage and you didn't say you didn't fuck her or him or whatever, but you definitely did this. It's just, when she calms it down and says, every time that I get into anything, it doesn't work out. Maybe this time it will. That was her having hope for anyone, and anyone feeling like, is there hope for me in love, really? And she bared it. And in these music videos, she really made it very colorful, very futuristic, as she should have. Because we look at it now like, yes, we needed that. We needed that of you. Because people now, they can do the, CGI and AI and all that other good stuff and really make you see all these things. And back then, it cost money to do all that. And then with Tonight's the Night, makes it even more of a soothing sense. Throughout the rest of the album, it becomes a little bit more calm and more relaxed. But like when it came to I Get Lonely, coming from Tonight's Tonight, where that was a cover and then that's a whole new song. And even with Tonight, I Get Lonely becoming like a remix. She's let me just unbutton this real quick. These girls need to understand. These men need to understand. I'm sexy. I'm still sexy. Okay, and I get lonely, damn it. I can't just always be wondering, feeling empty, or being mad. At the end of the day, maybe I'm just a little lonely. Yeah, I understand that. And then with Ro Burns, she takes it a step further, where it's just like, I can get a little kinky, I can get a little fun. But then it's just with anything, she kind of balances those themes out, where it's just like, you ain't gotta do too much, but I can do a lot with you. And even with the interlude, breaking from that and just being like, no, I'm having a moment where there's this, as she said, there's nothing more depressing than having everything and still feeling sad. You must learn to water your spiritual garden. Goes right into Special and Can't Be Stopped. And those two songs, they are twins to each other, because it's like, you are special and you can't be stopped. You can do what you feel you want to do and know that you will be great at it if you believe. And that's a great way to end the album. That's a great way to show herself that she can persevere, just like anyone else would want her to. But that's it. That is the episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back with more.